What's up, everybody? We got the penultimate episode of The Penguin this weekend, but before we get into the episode, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any future breakdowns, reviews, or the daily news. With that being said, let's get into episode 7. This week, we picked up with flashbacks to Oz's childhood. These showed us why he does what he does for his ma, as he was a good son, but not the favorite. His brothers, Benny and Jack, were the wild ones and the favorites. Also, she did work for Rex Calabrese, tying back to what I talked about last week with Rex being more than just a mobster for Oz, but an idol because of what he did for his mother. We see more of that when Oz and his brothers hit the streets as we got our first look at Rex's golden car, which Benny says is just gold paint, but that doesn't stop Oz from believing, obviously. They go into the tunnels where Oz's headquarters are in the present day, and we see him find the coin from episode 5 in what would become a tragic night. His brothers seem to love teasing Oz, and this was a night he'd had enough. They're messing around down in the tunnels, and his brothers go to hide in the water overflow tunnel where he locks them in and leaves them to inevitably pass away. Oz returns home to his ma and makes up a story about his brothers taking the money from Rex and going to the movies. And we got a nice Tim Burton Easter egg here too, as they name drop Beetlejuice, the first movie, but it goes deeper. Tim Burton obviously directed Beetlejuice with Michael Keaton as the titular character. Burton and Keaton worked in the same sense on Batman 89 and Batman Returns. In Batman Returns, Danny DeVito's Penguin is abandoned in the sewers because of his deformities, and now young Oz left his brothers in the sewers because they were taunting him about his own. This was just an incredible flashback. But after that, we return to Colin Farrell's Oz as he returns to Crown Point to find Vic knocked out and Ma gone. He's in a panic, but he gets Vic out of there to get him an army as Sal arrives to get a little taste of payback on the Penguin. Sal does just that, beating Penguin's ass, but he's stopped by Sophia's goons because she doesn't want him dead just yet. She's also taking good care of Francis back at the Falcone estate, but Francis has got her boys back. She's not only hilarious, but also incredibly badass when she slaps Sophia after Sophia gave her an episode talking about her other boys. Then Julian arrives at the estate, and we didn't get the Scarecrow reveal like I thought we would, but I still think it's coming. Anyway, he came because Gioviti, Johnny's daughter, is asking to talk to the cops, and that's a problem. Sophia wants to handle that, though, as she's got another problem for him to handle, Francis Cobb. Back with her son, Oz, he arrives back at HQ, but with Maroni's boys leading the way. He starts running his mouth, pushing Sal's buttons, waiting for the perfect moment to give his boys the signal. The lights go out, and chaos ensues as Oz and Sal go one-on-one for the throne. Sal kicks his ass, but then he kicks his own ass and has a heart attack, which I had the same reaction as Penguin. During this moment, it was both hilarious but also great because Oz wins, but not how he wanted to. He and Sophia are alike in that way, as proven in her visit to Gia. She goes to see the girl, getting flashes of Arkham and Magpie while walking in before facing a harsh truth. For one, Gia saw the gas mask in Sophia's bag while they were in the greenhouse that night, but she also breaks Sophia, showing that by killing her parents, the Vitis, she created another version of herself. All of that childhood trauma, the nightmare lifestyle, it breaks Sophia to realize what she did. What makes it worse, though, is Oz calling from Sal's phone right after she has that realization. She rushes back to the Falcone estate where Julian is doing some red light therapy on Mrs. Cobb. She comes in panicking, obviously, and it almost seems like Julian cares more about the Gigante crime family than Sophia does. But she's just lost in the chaos inside her head at the moment as Julian brings her down and sparks that fire in her once again. She sends a car with just the driver and a bomb into Oz's HQ instead of going there herself like she said she would. Oz barely escapes, using the hatch he locked his brothers in to get away from the blast, as the same place that took his brothers now saved him. The episode closed as Oz comes to and crawls out of the giant hole the bomb created in Crown Point. The first thing he does is look around for Vic, who's nowhere to be found still, but Oz is found by one of Sophia's goons and he's taken as the screen goes black. That was yet another incredible episode for this show. Even the flashbacks, which I was a bit worried about at first, were incredible, with the young kid doing an incredible job with young Oz. They were also mixed in perfectly, empowering the present day story while not dragging it down by taking us away from it. And so that'll do it for my breakdown of the penultimate episode for the Penguin. The only way this episode could have been better was if it was immediately followed up by the finale, but next Sunday is going to be incredible. Let me know what you thought about episode 7 though down in the comments below and make sure you have a great day.